What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Monday, November 28th, 2022, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 1:23 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States, and I just got an alert on my phone that there's a nuclear attack warning. And I just turned my TV on, and every single channel on my TV is broadcasting this message. And they're talking about a full-scale nuclear attack on the United States coming from Russia, aimed at decapitating our military and our government. And they're expecting the first nuclear warheads to land in about 2.5 hours at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And I don't think this is a joke. I think this is the real deal, guys. I thought maybe this was some kind of a hack, that maybe the Russians hacked us or some kind of cyber group hacked us and they messed with our emergency alert system. But I do think this is legitimate. So if you're watching this video, please put your nuclear war survival plans in action. Do not panic. We will get through this together, guys. This is why I was warning you for the last few months and the last few years. I knew that this day would come, and it's really unbelievable, actually. And it's really sad, but we knew this day would come. We knew that Vladimir Putin would launch those nukes, especially after Ukraine won the war and they were able to successfully push the Russian army out of eastern Ukraine. And for Putin, that was basically his last straw. And he decided to launch the nukes on us. So don't panic, guys. We're going to get through this together. Okay, put your nuclear war survival plans in action. And most of all, pray. Okay, ask God to protect us during this most difficult time in our history. We will all be tested, but we have to remember that we're all Americans and we're Christians, and we have to help each other. So I want to just play this message for you so you guys can hear exactly what they're saying. This is the emergency alert system. Let me just play it for you. I can hear people outside panicking. There's more cars than normal on my road here, my quiet country road. There's just cars every couple of seconds. It's very, very unusual, especially...
The state's military has detected preparations in the Russian Federation for a full-scale nuclear attack on the United States. The United States military anticipates the first nuclear warheads to detonate on American soil at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. The attack could involve up to 1,000 nuclear warheads detonated inside the borders of the United States. The primary purpose of the strike will be to decapitate the United States military and the United States government. The United States government anticipates a long period of time without electricity and normal functioning of society after the attack. Make preparations to be without electricity for at least 3 months. It is also expected that overlapping high-altitude detonations of nuclear warheads will be used to destroy the entire United States electrical grid. If this occurs, restoration of electricity and communications will take at least 6 months. The United States military has already put into place continuity of government protocols. The United States President and the National Command Authority have been evacuated to secure locations. The United States military will commence with a full-scale retaliation strike against the Russian Federation to neutralize the Russian nuclear weapons arsenal, military, and government. The United States military anticipates that the retaliation strike will neutralize most of the nuclear forces of the Russian Federation. Fallout radiation will spread across the entire country. Prepare a fallout shelter by looking for an underground structure. Look for a basement with minimal windows and doors. If there are windows and doors, backfill them on the outside with earth. If this is not possible, place as much dense material along the doors and windows on the inside. You will need to stay in your shelter for 2 weeks while radiation diminishes. Bring with you 2 weeks' worth of food, water, and medicine. Do not leave your shelter until 2 weeks has passed unless instructed by authorities. If you are located within 10 miles of a city with a population of 1 million or more, or within 10 miles of a high-value U.S. military or government facility, you will need to seek protection from blast waves and thermal radiation. Underground train tunnels and stations are best. Do not look at the flash, it will cause short-term or even permanent blindness. If stranded out in the open, seek shelter behind a sturdy non-flammable object or in a depression such as a drainage culvert to protect yourself from the blast wave and thermal radiation. Third-degree burns can occur as far as 30 miles from the detonation point. Be prepared to survive without electricity and normal distribution of food for up to 6 months. The United States military has plans for restoring the electrical infrastructure and food distribution system after the attack. However, they will need to wait until fallout radiation diminishes to begin restoration work. The United States military also has plans for providing food, water, medical care, and shelter once fallout radiation diminishes. Further updates will be provided through AM/FM radio.
So there you have it, guys. There's the actual alert message. Let me just show you my preparations, what I'm doing. So the good news is we still have power now, but in about 3 hours, we're going to lose all electricity. So you need to take advantage of your electricity. Do everything you can now while you have electricity. Charge all your devices. Charge your battery banks. Here's my water. Okay, I have a bunch of sandbags here, just like I showed you guys. I'm going to start filling these sandbags up, and I'm going to be going into this little cellar here in my basement, and it's surrounded by concrete blocks on all sides, and up above I have a slab of concrete. So I'm going to stay in this cellar for the first 2 days because that's when radiation is going to be the highest. So I'm going to stay in there. I'm going to make sure I bring some garbage bags for my waste, okay, my fecal matter. And I'm going to bring 2 weeks of water and 2 weeks of food. Good thing I have ample supplies of canned food. And you definitely want to bring canned food into your shelter because canned food you can just open and eat, okay? Freeze-dried food you have to prepare, and if you're in a fallout shelter, especially a tight shelter, it might be difficult, if not impossible, to prepare meals, okay? So you want food that you can just open and eat, okay? Granola bars, protein bars, canned food, bottled water. Bring any medicines you need. Bring some kind of light sources, okay? Especially lanterns that don't use kerosene or candles. You want to bring an LED lantern if you have it. Bring flashlights. Bring a dosimeter if you have one, a Geiger counter if you have one. Okay, and the first 2 days you need to stay sheltered. Okay, you cannot leave the first 2 days because the first 2 days the radiation is going to be extremely high. Okay, so stay in your shelter, and after 2 days, you can leave temporarily to empty your waste and see how the radiation levels are using your Geiger counter or dosimeter. Yeah, I had a feeling Putin would do this, that rat bastard. I had a feeling he would do this. I was just hoping it wouldn't happen. But I'm glad to hear that we're doing a full-scale retaliation strike, and I hope we completely annihilate him and anybody who is sympathetic to him. I hope we send those bastards to hell. So it's not over, guys. Okay, this is just a test. Okay, just like when our country was founded, we had to defeat the Redcoats, the British. Okay, during World War II, we had to defeat the Nazis. And now we have to defeat Putin. Okay, and we have to survive this nuclear war. If we don't survive, our country will cease to exist. America will not exist. Okay, and if America doesn't exist, the whole world is going to basically go to hell. Okay, because America is the world's peacekeeper. We are the beacon of freedom around the world. So it's up to us, the American people, to survive and rebuild our country better than it was before, okay? And it starts with you, okay? Your actions over the next few months will determine if America survives and rebuilds or if America ceases to exist, okay? So remember, you're an American, you're a Christian, and always remember that, because you will be tested. People are going to test you. The conditions are going to test you. You're going to be hungry. You're going to be cold. You're going to be wet. You're going to be thirsty. You're going to be sad. You're going to be lonely. You're going to be sick. Okay, all these things are going to happen, but we will survive. So if you haven't already found a shelter, what you need to do is find one. If you're within 10 miles of a city of 1 million or more, or a high-value military or government facility, you need to be concerned with blast waves and thermal pulse, okay, heat. The heat from these nuclear warheads are going to be hot enough to cause third-degree burns out to 30 miles away. So even if you're in the suburbs of a major city, you still need to think about protection from heat, okay? And we don't know what kind of missiles and what kind of warheads Russia is going to use, but we only have about 2 hours to get ready, okay? The best fallout shelters, like I mentioned in my videos, are underground structures, basements, train tunnels, train stations. Those are going to be your best options, especially if you live in a city. You need to get into your nearest train station or train tunnel, okay, that's underground. That will protect you from everything, the blast wave, the heat, and the ionizing radiation. If you're like 75% of Americans and you live either in the suburbs or in the countryside, then your basement of your house will be good enough to survive as long as you stack up sandbags in one corner of your basement furthest away from any windows and doors. What you also need to do is backfill any windows and doors that you have with earth, okay? And that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to be in contact with you guys. I don't know when will be the next time I reach out to you guys. This might be my last video, who knows? But I'm going to be documenting everything, okay? Everything I'm going to be documenting with my camera. So if we do survive, I can update you on my status and how I weathered this situation, how I survived this nuclear attack, okay? So the government is saying that the power will be out for up to 6 months, and they're expecting EMPs to be used as well. All right, so that means no YouTube for a while. So I don't know how I'm going to get in touch with you guys, but this might be my last video, but I will be documenting everything. So that's all I got for now, guys. Take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.